Hello, everybody. And that, yeah. Um, Doing these Wednesday movie watches and that. Where this one I watched by myself, but it's okay because I think most of them I'm going to be watching by myself. But because like some of the titles I'll be watching are somewhere it's like, oh, you have to be proper into your masculine crazy action and that, and so yeah, sometimes I might be like, they don't want to watch it. But Remo, one of my favourite films, watched it in that class film. Yeah, right, man. Yeah, yeah. When did this movie? It came out 1985. I'll show you the cast. Yeah. Oh, class film. Like I saw it back in like the late 80s, early 90s. But yeah, it's proper masculine action though. It's one of them films that like you can probably tell by the cast like there's only like one main woman in that. But yeah, he's got Fred Ward as Remo Williams, and then Joel Grey as Chun. Where yeah, he played a good part. It's more about bullet dodging than martial arts. But yeah, and then Kate Mulgrew is like a female officer in that. And then yeah, and Wilford Brimley and J.A. Preston, George Cole, Charles Cole, and Patrick Kilpatrick. He plays like a bad guy, is it? Like he usually does in that. Yeah, Michael Patrick. Yeah, William Hockey, John Poulter, Marvel, but Tom McBride. But it's like a soap opera that this Chung watches and that. Yeah, and Reginald Val Johnson, who was in the Diehards, and then yeah, Cozy Costa and that, and Davina McFadden. She is in it for like 2 minutes, and that she has a bit part in it, and yeah, Susie Schneider, but she's in the soap that the what? So she's not really in the well, she's in the film, but it's like a soap that Chung watches and that. Yeah, JP. Well, yeah, like some more dudes and that. Joker, Jean LaBelle, uh, Substan Legre, Frank Frazier, Phil Nielsen, Jeff Allen, Roger Cudnery, Phil Clotter, Donna Clark, yeah, loads and like it says Anthony Hopkins at the end here, but as where I'm thinking like I don't remember Anthony Hopkins being in it, but yeah, like Gene LaBelle, he probably like did a bit part 'cause he sorted out some of the fighting techniques and that. Well, class film. It's one of them films where not many people like would have watched it much if you're not into like action films and that. Because it's action all the way. This is why okay love this film. It's real corny and that, but fucking great. Like about a cop a New York cop who fucking played by Frank Ward, who like gets beaten up a bit, and then he does like more fist fighting because he's not really. It's not really a martial arts film. This it's as I say, it's more bullet dodging, you know. But yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh well, 1985 born. It's one of them where it fucking don't even let women talk to each other, which is why another reason why I fucking love this film. It's like there's like three women in it, and one of them is in a soap that's inside the film itself, and so fucking she's in it for like about 5 minutes because like there's different bits, and so and another woman and the, the one who what's her name? Yeah, Davina McFadden. She's in it for like 2 minutes. Plays like a warden, a traffic warden, and then Katie McGrew. She's like the female lead in this, and she's in it for like about 45 minutes. But the film's on for like 2 hours, so it, it's a proper like duty film, as in there's a lot of it is 'cause it's a bit of a comedy, action comedy adventure. Like they all sort of like have most of it, apart from any singing in it. But it does have a good like soundtrack, as in orchestra sort of like theme that goes sort of like like a Star Warsy sort of like um thing, and it was more Indiana Jones, where when there's action going down, instead of hearing you hear du, 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 sort of thing. Well, yeah, class film. Like yeah, yeah. As I was saying, like yeah, bit of spoilers in that. Like yeah, he's Frank Ward's a New York cop that gets sort of like beaten up a bit, but he fights back because they try and beat him up, but he beats them up, sits in his car, and then a truck or a lorry or a van, depending on like a, it's not a real big truck, but anyway, that pushes his car into the river, and he's saved by like frog divers and that have been put there, but it's to fake his death. And then he gets a facelift, which there's not much of a facelift, but he's sort of like works for like a secret organization now because they've like roped him in and that, and they get him to go kill his like first victim, who's like Chung, the Joel Grey character, who he's supposed to be from Korea, and he's real old because like in the film he the Joel Grey, he must be like in his 30s or something, so he's still really active in that. But they put makeup on him to make him look like he was in his 80s or something, and so he's supposed to be like this Korean martial artist who knows like kung fu, karate, jiu-jitsu, and I forget what the, he calls his fucking style of fighting. But anyway, his style of fighting's the best because he can dodge bullets and use um, nerve point sort of pokes where he can make people incapacitated and that. It's it's really sort of like quite bullshitty sort of because like there's some moves in that where it might be possible, but is not sort of like common because like he's supposed to be like the best of the best that like he knows, but some good training because he gets trained up and that, and so like he's having to like do all like balancing and that, to make better at that. And then there's a bit where he has to go on the Statue of Liberty, and there's like quite a few sort of scaffolding around. Well, it's basically fully scaffolding sort of around the Statue of Liberty, but he's on it, and then some dudes will get paid to like go and sort of push him off, so it makes it look like an accident and that. They come up and that, and they try and like fucking put him off and all this, and like he escapes him and that because I think that he fell off because a bag of tools that look like his body falls off, and then like he beats him up in the like lift that's in the Statue of Liberty sort of thing. Or on the outside of the Statue of Liberty in that, because yeah, I think it might be a lift that is for the Statue of Liberty, but I think it's just a workman's lift with the scaffolding. Because I don't know if there is a lift. It's definitely not inside because I know there's definitely not a lift inside the Statue of Liberty. But anyway, yeah, like finds out like this weapons company is selling dodgy weapons, and they're not even. But you don't know this, but they don't even like making weapons. They they're just trying to like blag it. They're just making like shit weapons that they can and that, and they're selling them on that. Well, thing is, character, um, Katie Mulgrew's character, Major Reiner, I think, because she's in the army and that, so she's a major. Uh, she's investigating in that, but she can't get into the files because they're all fucking um, coded and that, and so she hasn't got the code, and so she can't get access to these files and that. But like, yeah, the company and that Fred works for, he sort of like fucking helps get the files and that, and Biggie's character, J.A. Preston's character, sort of like gets captured in this process. But yeah, they find out like yeah, the weapons are shit and that, and they they're just blagging it, and so like the don't have enough evidence to arrest the dude and that. So Remo, for a bit of revenge, he goes and just sort of enters the base and that, and they know about him and that, and so they like get um, Kate Mulgrew's character and Fred Ward's characters like together to show them around this base and that. Well, they go into a room where there's two entrances. Well, when they get in, they get the door shut behind them and that, and so they're locked in, and like gas comes through and that. And this is a great bit where fucking I like remember this bit from like being a kid and that. Um, Patrick Kilpatrick's character, he sort of like is watching them like getting gassed and that, and for a bit of revenge because he got choked out earlier on by Fred Ward, Remo's Williams character. He goes in and starts kicking the shit out of him with a gas mask on. Well, like Remo like just takes the gas mask off and that, and uses his tooth that has a diamond in it to cut the glass so he can smash through it. Because I don't know why he didn't go out the exit way, but I think it's locked and that. But it looks good in the film where he scratches his sort of face with his tooth across the glass and that, and then like kills him because he's like this time he's just out for revenge and that, and escapes with um, Kate Mulgrew's character and that, and they see Chun who's like being followed with him and that, and then the steal her truck, but the brakes on the truck aren't working in the crash, and I think Chung's dead, but he's not. There's a spoiler in that. Well, anyway, then Fred Ward goes off, but they start bombing him in that, and then he lands up on this crane that's hoisting big logs, well, tree trunks basically, in that. And then the dudes all like fucking are after him and that because they know like, oh yeah, he's fucking coming and like getting up all the sort of like evidence and that. So they need to kill him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Spoiler alert. Yeah, yeah. As well. Yeah, I am. But is one of them where it's from 1985 and that, and so like yeah, uh, I think most people would have seen this film, or like if not, like they should have because it's a class film. But yeah, well anyway, they start shooting the shit out of this log. Well, he goes. It's a bit corny this bit because he goes across um, these parlor logs where then he gets to the top of the winch sort of um, crane that is going on, and like releases it and hits the logs and knocks the like jeep that they're following him, trying to shoot the shit out of him and that. And you think he's dead, but or you think they're all dead, but he gets down there, and then they're like, this dude, he comes out and he's all like, oh yeah, fucking, you got like a name and that. Well, he tries shooting him, but obviously this is like the bullet dodging technique that you learn. That he dodges the bullets and then sort of like disarms him, throws him sort of like into the jeep, and that, and then this is real corny and that of the film. But this is why I love this film because it's just all out sort of like fucking crazy ass like shit that no one can possibly do. I don't think this, but he like rubs some a stick together and that with his fingers or his thumb, and it sets on fire, and he throws it into the jeep that's like smashed all over, and it's like leaking petrol, and it fucking explodes, and that it fucking kills him, and that probably you don't know because they never say it because it was called Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins, but they never did a Remo Williams 2. And so, like, oh, not what I know of anyway. And so, like, he might have died. But anyway, then the escape sort of thing in a speedboat and he off for another adventure because Chun's character, he wants to get back for the soaps. 'Cause, yeah. Um, uh, weird spoiler. Yeah, so yeah, I should have really I should have just put spoiler alert and put it on like that sort of thing. But yeah, uh, he can dodge bullets like in the Matrix. Yeah, basically, because I'll like try and bring it up to show you his bullet dodging because I'm I reckon if I use a YouTube clip, it'd be better than me just using the fucking um, source material because then it's like well, if it's on YouTube, then fucking yeah, it's basically like a Matrix sort of way, but it's handguns because doing machine guns, that sort of like Matrix is more machine gun dodging, where with Remo it's more handgun dodging. But yeah, and let's share this. Um, oh yeah, stop screen share. Yeah, um, go this one. Plays it. I've got to pause. To come. Oh, that's yeah, yeah, there you go. It, bit like the Matrix. Yeah, even though he didn't go that far back, but yeah, that was mainly sort of like bullet twizzling around and making the dude aiming shit. But yeah, there you go. Won't spoil it, but yeah, that's sort of like the bullet dodging. Yeah, good thing Alec Baldwin didn't direct the gunfight. No, no, it'd have been a total different film. Because at the beginning, I'll say it, Remo, Frank Ward's character, has to kill, but yeah, yeah, I'm saying cool. Yeah, oh yeah, like if the beginning bit was directed by Alec Baldwin, Remo would have shot the Chung character, and then fucking Chung wouldn't have been able to have teached him how to do bullet dodging. So yeah, yeah, the film would have been shite. But yeah, it is like a bit corny because like how he can dodge bullets is because he's obviously a bit of a sort of like um writer's liberty in that but he can hear sort of like you know the like hammer clicking and that, and he can see sort of like the tendons in the hand and all that, and looks at the thumb or the finger pressure in that, and then so he knows when to dodge, and it's all like timing. Obviously, it is probably possible to do it, but is it possible to do it every go? And so yeah, it is a bit of a like uh, fantasy sort of like martial. Even though it might save someone's life, I'm saying no, but you never know. Maybe someone has done that before, and like bullet dodging is like one of them things where it's like, oh yeah, you can't really train for it. It's one of them rather you're naturally gifted or you end up being shot, and so fucking. But this film is sort of like quite crazy in that, as in there's a bit where he flies through these sand piles and like digs like a mole through it and that, and fucking well yeah, possibly if someone fucking trained themselves to dig like a mole through sand sort of pits up, well they're more like sand castles, but someone's just been digging up big sandy sort of piles of sand that like is training for them and that, and so yeah. But class film though, because it's got like everything you need to know about martial arts and that, as in top level martial arts is like because he can do a little bit of martial arts because he was a cop and he would have done self defense training as being a part of a cop and that, and so he does know how to like do a kick or two, but it's more sort of like learning the mind to focus on stuff, and so you don't really have to um, know real good moves. But it was done in '85, and it's for an American audience, and so they did have to sort of like make it a bit more sort of like less kung fu I think, because it's like, well, the Americans, the more into, well, back in the '80s, the American audience was more into the guns and that, and so if you had films with fighting in it, like you'd have to have some guns and all. So, but class film though. Yeah, I saw this sort of film, as I say, like late 80s, early 90s, and that. And like, oh yeah, it was corny back then, sort of thing. But it's a bit like seeing someone fucking playing lead guitar solos and that. You know, some people who never seen people play lead guitar and that might think, oh no, that's a bit bullshitty and that. But you know, it's sort of like, yeah, well, once you get that sort of like idea of where they're coming from and that, it's a great film, and it is like more of a comedy and all sort of aspect to it, where it's quite serious. It's one of them films where it could have been real serious, but I think it was like, well, if we go real serious with this film, with the subject matter we're dealing with, and that, like, it might not, and so we'll make it a bit of a comedy because there's some parts where they try and make it too comical, as in there's a bit where they're asking for directions on where, because they've got like a fucking sensor radar on him and that, and they can track where he's going, and the oh, broadcast station where who was like following him, sat like telling them where they're going, and it's like, oh yeah, we know where we're going, but where's he going and that, and so like those bit of like comedy where like, oh no, like the went a little bit too sort of like comical bit where you're thinking it, they can't be that daft, didn't they? You know, but just for a laugh, they made out like, oh yeah, they didn't know which direction or which um, source that they was locating, wanted the directions on and that. It was like, it was supposed to be army trained and that because it, it's all about like the military and that sort of thing. As I say, with like arms and weapons sort of malfunctioning. That's why probably people don't like. Well, I know the globalists will hate this film because it's all about strengthening your man, body, and soul sort of thing. And so, yeah, but also the globalists won't like it because it talks about like fucking um, shady deals in the arm industry. So yeah, or or in the like um, weapons arms industry. But yeah, it's got some great scenes in it and that. Like, I'll try and look up. Um, but look at this. Yeah, yeah, it's weird, a bit weird. Yeah, but like, I'm saying it is fucking good. But look at this dude. Or it could be a, probably is a dude. 'Cause I don't think this is not a chick flick. This is one of them films where women won't be too impressed with it because it fucking has a quite sexist sort of remarks in it. But here we go. There's Remo, possibly the greatest martial arts and action movie of all time. It's like, no, mate. No, it's fucking good, but it's not the greatest. But yeah, it's probably his bit where, well, I think he's used his. But by the way, let's see. Uh, yeah, this is where you got to kill him. Yeah, yeah, he's still got his gun. Yeah, yeah, that's his sort of like action to like see if he can kill, and it also helps Chung to see how good of a fighter this Remo Williams is, and or how good his abilities are. Yeah, some bullet dodger. The master. Yeah, yeah, there's sort of like he's looking at his finger and like yeah, pulling and boom, then dodge sort of thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like how he's sort of learns how to like do bullet dodging because he's supposed to, like trained in every and see if this part this is a good part if it's on it. It should be 'cause it's 8 minutes I think. Yeah, there's a bit of a fight scene there. He gets his ass kicked. Oh, here's that bit with the sand. This bit is a bit corny and that, but yeah. Okay, it's got to be. Music's quite good. Does like soundtracks, like yeah. Here we go. Now, I'm not saying that's not impossible, but I'm saying that's very unlikely. But training, it's all about training. If you're like doing that 24/7 a day, like sooner or later you will be able to fucking at least dig yourself in. Maybe you won't be able to dig yourself in and pop up as quick out of it, but be more training and that. Because the sand and all look quite loose because it's not heavily packed sand, and so it won't be as hard to dig as like compressed sand. But still, I've never seen anyone do that, and so well, not as quick as that anyway. And so yeah, I'm thinking that's a bit of like liberty on the martial arts part. The taking, but they do. It is one of them where he's basically like a superhero nearly, and so he's doing stuff where you're thinking, oh, how can he possibly do that? And it's like, oh yeah, well he's trained because it. Oh, give us a sec. It's all about like your mind and body and soul, sort of like mastering it and that. And so once you master it, oh, but I'm saying, yeah, I was, yeah, it wasn't the greatest. Like you said a bit there of some pan pipes and that, giving the Oriental sort of martial arts sort of feel to it and that. And then you had a bit of a like brass band sort of thing. I'll try and play a bit of the oh, it's like the Remo theme tune. Is one of them um oh pieces of music that gets played when Remo's like kicking ass or something's happening and that. Um, let's see. Don't know if it, um, there we go, Remo's theme song. Uh, yeah, Remo. I joke Remo Williams' theme song. But yeah, this is sort of like can't pause it, let it boat in a bit. Yeah, like Oriental sort of like um aspect to it because it's sort of um mixes like big classical orchestra music with sort of like Oriental um street music sort of thing that they do. Yeah, there's a good bit in that. It is one of them where say probably not the best of soundtracks, but like the symbols. It like builds up and that. Yeah, I'm gonna pause it there just so like I don't get the stream took down. Um, 'Cause, yeah, got like talk over it and oh fuck off. I already put it in. I don't yeah. Hey, we cook with the you know, yeah. It's all like but, yeah, it kicks up the shit. That's why I think it's like oh yeah, the Oscar coming now. Like yeah, you say this. Yeah. And then you got your eighties, yeah. Like, can't play much of that. As but yeah, like as I say, the soundtrack won't be out great. I ain't got loads of songs in it, but it'll have one of them where it'll have a good like 10, 20 minutes of like some orchestral, come Chinese, Oriental, Korean, Japanese sort of music. Yeah, so the audio is breaking up. How was it now? Because it might be like when I was playing 'cause the YouTube. Yeah, I'll see it. See how that is. Yeah, should be all right now because I can see the ring. But yeah, my mic is a little bit low. I think maybe it's because like I was putting my guitar through and so like it registers. Oh yeah, he's fucking needs his mic turning down low. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kid Bone. So yeah, it's better now. That yeah, yeah. So yeah, fucking Remo. It Williams. It's full title: Unarmed and Dangerous. But, yeah, because that's where okay. I think the, John Candy did a film called uh, uh, Armed and Very Dangerous, or something like that. But it was a play on Remo, Unarmed and Dangerous, or play on the words of being unarmed and dangerous. So yeah, but yeah, be one of them where China hates any sort of martial art films that get shown anywhere else but to the Chinese because they see it as like uh, a tradition that like should not be um, shown or taught to anyone else. So you just keep it in the family, in the Chinese family sort of method they have. That's why they hated Bruce Lee and that. And so yeah, it's Rero Williams and that. They'll probably hate that because it is like an American version of like martial arts. Because like bullet dodging is sort of like where yeah, if you need to like learn some martial arts, bullet dodging effect is sort of like fucking way to go. But as I say, it's not on the extremes of Matrix because Matrix you can practically fucking dodge a, a barrage of bullets where with Remo it's like just one at a time because if there was two people shooting at him, he'd be fucked probably or find it really hard to concentrate on both hands at the same time. So unless they were standing next together, maybe it could do it. But if there was one behind him and one in front of him, he'd find it hard. But it's all is like martial arts, so sort of knowing what to look out for because there's always telltale signs of what someone's going to do by the way they have to start the momentum of whatever they're going to do. And so once you know what to look out for, that that's how you learn how to block and counter and all that shit. And it is sort of like extreme, sort of, as I say, on the levels of like, because he learns all this shit in about like fucking 6 months. Yeah, it takes him half a year to learn how to do but um, bullet dodging and that. But he does go like quite crazy on him, as in he makes him like do some crazy shit and sort of like, as I say, hanging off like a Ferris wheel sort of ride, to get his balance and that. And there must have been some real stuntmen on there and that doing some of this shit because none of it's CGI because it's back in 1985. So the only people who like fucking they could get to do it would be people doing it for real. So yeah, there might have been a few injuries and that because yeah, there's this bit. Um, yeah, this is a good part, isn't it? Yeah, balance training. Yeah, 'cause it's off easy in there. But yeah, it gets a little bit harder as it goes along. Reminds me of uh trial bike sort of fucking yeah and that. But yeah, it's also like get the balance and that. I'm thinking, yeah, someone is doing this. Obviously, at that bit, it'd be like about 2 foot from the ground. But yeah, when you see bits where you can't see Fred Ward's face, then yeah, you know, yeah, probably is someone really doing it and that. Like this bit here, I think his hair's a bit longer and all. Sometimes that's all. Like yeah, what he has to do yeah, for his training, for balancing and that. Like trains him to like to be like a ninja and that shit, but obviously not like that much of a ninja that he's got a fucking sword and Death Stars and that. Yeah, one of them films where if you watch it in that, you sort of like pick up little bits and that, you know, fucking, but there's no way you're gonna be able to do what because it's a bit of a fiction and that, and so, but well, when fiction becomes fact, though, isn't it, sort of thing. So, because Equilibrium with Christian Bale, that's sort of like on the level of this, where it's like, oh yeah, just work out like gun projection and fucking knowing how to like um, anticipate people's reactions and that. 'Cause, yeah, I'm thinking like yeah, the Matrix and who did Equilibrium must have like seen Remo on that, or if not Remo, someone like Remo. But I'm sure like Remo was probably one of the first films to bring in bullet dodging because most of the time everyone was sort of like just runs away by dodging the bullet, which is like a good technique and that. But with this, you run close to them. But it can all end it up at like in failure though. If you don't know what you're doing, you just run straight at them. Then you showing them a target line. Like I was watching a new series of Dexter New Blood, and oh, what's his name? Oh, he did fucking Highlander, like bad guy. Oh, I forget his name, but he's sort of like the bad guy in the new Dexter sort of season. There's a bit where he's yeah, he's just talking about Dexter just in case, but he's sort of like I imprisoning sort of like strays and homeless people and that, or mainly women in anyway, homeless women and sort of like drifters and that. And then he sort of like lets them go so he can shoot them as like he's kicking it sort of thing. But what one of these lasses, she don't run, so she runs right at him, but he just shoots her in her head and that. So, but that's Dexter. So yeah, yeah, I didn't even know it was out and that. So yeah, oh yeah, get watching that. God, boys, fucking a bit sorry though, because the got these women in it talking. I had to fast forward it. Like, oh fuck no, didn't really miss much neither. If there's anything that women say in it together, it usually gets fucking. It's rather pointless information, or it'll get explained later on in the film. So, or series. But yeah, I think it's up to the eighth episode. I don't even know how many episodes there is in the new Dexter. I'll have a look now just in case anyone's into the Dexter. Um, Dexter New Blood. Um, yeah, I've got how many episodes? Mm. Oh, it's looking in here. But you can never sort of like go by what fucking Google tells you. But according to this, Dexter New Blood will be giving itself the ability to be more him fucking he meditate and focused. However, 10 episodes for Dexter New Blood still seems like too many, whilst each episode has had more moments to make them worthwhile. It's clear that the Kate Cadwell storyline is taking too long to get to its climax. No, the the climax is always sort of like at the end sort of episode. No, what's fucking taking so long is he's not killing fucking many people. He's only killed two sort of people, and one of them, um, he did sort of with a drug overdose. So yeah, yeah, the new Dexter, it's one of them where it's Dexter and Son, because then the son's got like a fucking plot line where he's fucking taking most of the like storyline up, but hopefully they might just fucking realize, oh yeah, Dexter's only good when fucking he's just Dexter by himself, fucking doing shit. But there was a lot of episodes of that though. He lives near New York now because he used to be in Miami, but yeah, like starts complaining about the cold and that. Like he's in a small village now, and so fucking or town now. So there's not a lot of serial murderers for him to pick off. And like, yeah, he had like a 10 years absent and all, like because he settled down with a new life and all this. But yeah, not too bad, but not as good as the original. That's like the talk about Dexter, but yeah, with the Remo Williams, I think that's all I can say, sort of thing. I reckon. Uh, apart from a lot of fucking different video or DVD covers, because this one sort of like I think this is the like 90s one and that, or like 2005 one or something, where it's like 20 years after it got released. Yeah, but yeah, that's like an original poster though, because like, yeah, you can tell where it's not drawn that great, but it's one of them where they don't know if the film's going to be great, so you just draw outdoors. Yeah, this was like Remo Williams. What I used, that probably didn't have like um, the Remo and Chung like that, which is a bit of a fucking bastard because like Chung is part of, but most part of this film and that. Oh yeah, and there's this one. Yeah, I never seen. Yeah, that looks like more of the Charles Bronson sort of like era sort of thing as that. Oh yeah, make it look like Charles Bronson. Yeah, here's one I used. I didn't. I only used like the top bit of it and that. Yeah, yes. Yeah, there's a new one. Well, yeah, I hadn't seen that one. Oh yeah, here's one. Yeah, where's got all like three characters in that. Yeah, going into stuff now. Yeah, DVD cover. So like yeah, they're sprucing it up. But yeah, fucking great film, though. Great film. Oh, oh, look at this. Some porn. Okay, troll. Yeah, I'm doing good. He's like, the come on to try fucking fuck me up because they know that they're little soy bitches and that. Probably talking about Remo Williams too much. It was like, oh no, no, don't tell everybody. Because, like, oh, I'll tell you something. Oh, yeah, like, yeah, Slasher, yeah, he's seen Remo and that. Because, like, yeah, I was like, say, oh, yeah, Remo Williams, like, oh, yeah, but he's not feeling too good in that. And he's having a rest from the YouTubing. Might come back later on in that. You don't really know on that. So, but yeah, I hope he does and that because I'll be doing these every Wednesday and that. Sent him a link anyway today. I did. So, like, but yeah, but yeah, it's totally fucking 10 times fucking better than Hawkeye. And I ain't even seen Hawkeye, but I've no need to see Hawkeye because, like, yeah, it'd be like, go. Don't sort of like have females in action films unless like they don't talk that much and they're there to be saved. Then it's like, yeah, the action has got to be good in it because if it ain't, there's going to be a lot of people like, oh, right, well, this ain't going to go down well with the women or the dudes. So, yeah, honestly, if you ever get a chance to see this or buy it or rent it in that, yeah, definitely well worth the watch. One of them where you can watch it again and that because like there's comedy moments in it that like is happening, but still fucking they are funny and that. Yeah, that's why I was watching, knowing oh yeah what was coming up next and that. But yeah, Cause seeing like Frank Ward's character getting put through fucking loads of shit, because that's how he gets trained up to be fucking um, able to sort of like do some crazy shit and that. But most of the stuff is parkour, sort of like fucking all balancing, and because I think, as I say, they've got some stuntmen who probably like used to doing dangerous stunts like high up and all that shit, and so they need the balance and all that crap. And so fucking they got so like crazy ass stuntmen to fucking just do some crazy shit, like fucking. Because I say there'd be no fucking um, CGI, and so some of the stuff when you see it, you're thinking, well, because nowadays, when you see it, you're thinking, oh yeah, well, they probably got a fucking safety harness and that. Oh, they might have actually thinking back because they might have been using really thin, like wire harnesses and that, but just one little thread, so like it would only be able to support their weight and that. So if they did fall off, they wouldn't be like falling to their deaths. It could have been one of them, but you just don't know because like in them days, it was like, oh yeah, you fucking get up there and like if you're good enough, you won't fall off. Like and so and it and if they do fall off, I think sometimes they'd have it in the contract that like, oh yeah, you understand the risks of the stunt you're gonna do, and so there would be like signing contracts probably where it's like, oh yeah, if you die doing this stunt, then you don't have no insurance, you have no right to sue the company. But yeah, fucking great film. One of them films like you need to like watch and at least once because it is an action film that is quite like high budget for 80s, budget. It like being quite an high action film, but because like it seemed like it had about a big enough budget as the Lethal Weapons did, and so or if not, it was near about that sort of where they're definitely spending money on it. There was like, right, we're gonna make these scenes look as good as possible. We're not gonna just fucking slap a few fucking like clips together and that shit and fucking then make some alterations here and there. It seemed like it was one of those films where like, right, we've got the script now, we've got the money, and we're gonna fucking film it as good as possible. Because some action films, especially the Hong Kong ones, they're just made up on the spot sometimes. Like, right, well, we was going to do this, but now we're going to do this. It's all different, but as long as they get a decent end product, no one cares. But if you fuck up though, then yeah, it can be a bit like, oh yeah, you won't be working much. But if you're fucking changing scripts there on the spot, but you're changing them for the better at that, then yeah, you start making more films and that. But yeah, say this film, great film. it's even one of them where it's got some violent bits in it, some quite really violent bits, like someone getting their eye sort of like fucking poked in, but you don't really see it. But you you sort of see most of it, but you don't see it fully, like um, close up, sort of, and that because it's covered a bit, well, quite a bit. But anyway, there's all like violent bits like that, but there's not much swearing, even though there's a bit of swearing in it and that because like it's a 15, and there's no sexual or nudity because it's a 15, and so yeah, it is a fucking real good film to like fucking watch if like you got kids that are like old enough that they don't mind to watch violent action films. Because yeah, with Dexter and that, you usually get some tits because it's 18, and there was a bit of tit in it and that, which was nice to see that there was like not holding back on the tit in the Dexter, but yeah, I'm still not too impressed with how much tit they showed, but they still did it though, so you know, credit where credit's due. The one fucking pussying out on showing a bit of tit in Dexter, even though you're not guaranteed it. I think there was a season or two where you didn't see much tit, but when the first few seasons came out of Dexter, it was the time around where it was True Blood and fucking Sex in the City and all that. So seeing tits and fucking ass on screen wasn't all that much of a biggie, and so they were like banging it in like, each episode. But if you got kids and that, obviously you can't show them Dexter because Dexter's one of them where no, you definitely want to be at least fucking mid-teens before you're watching Dexter. I'd say because there's some crazy sort of oh, subjects and that go on Dexter and that. But Remo Williams, this is all about saving America because that's what he basically does. He saves America by getting rid of like corrupt corporate companies that aren't making the product that they should be making. Because that's why I say the globalists relate to this film. But I love it. As I say, it's a bit corny and that shit. You've got where you're fucking seeing bits in it where you're like, oh, I don't care how hard you train. That's fairly impossible. As I say, that sand dune digging. But as I say, yeah, some people train because you'd have to have like pretty like hefty forearms and that because that would be all where your power's coming from and that. But as I say, the sand was loosely sort of piled up. It wasn't like tightly packed sand. So yeah, there is a sort of like possibility, but because it could be one of them where the body can do stuff that you don't think it can do, until it's like an emergency. It's like life threatening, like the Hulk sort of thing, where once your life's in danger, you switch the gamma ray fucking on, and you can do some stuff, and that way you can get off. But your body just it goes in override. So yeah, that sand dune digging might be possible if you have to do it, you know, like life or death situation. But when it's just like having a jog on the beach, then it might not be fucking as realistic. But yeah, great film though. Yeah, I remember that bit. Yeah, this is a bit though. Where he put his face with the diamond tool, so I like to cut the glass to make a weak point on it, so he can shatter it and that. That ain't Remo Williams. That's running scared. That's Remo Williams on the bottom there. Fucking get yeah. Here's where he's on the scaffolding and all. On the oh yeah, because at one stage he's on like that, and like these dudes come and shit, and then at one stage he's on the Statue of Liberty. Now I don't know if that's a thing he won. Don't know if that is the real statue or is just. I think it's just a model one. That's like probably the top part of Statue of Liberty in a studio or something. But yeah, you get some good scenes in that. There's a 2014 one. Yeah, yeah. I don't know that is the real Statue of Liberty though. But I think at one stage though, they would have been on the real Statue of Liberty in that. Yeah. Oh yeah, probably another reason why the globalists don't like this film and all 'cause it has a Statue of Liberty in it. Uh, it's where they got the thing and the Winnipeg band. Yeah, it's like this is all like the comedy bit, you know, where the like walking down the Broadway sort of thing, and that with fucking a Pink Panther. So yeah, there's like daft things like that. So it is comedy element in it. As I say, is got a serious plot in it, but it has like comedy moments in it that like make it more of a action comedy than an action with comedy. But there is some like fight scenes though that are quite serious because maybe that's why that's put a bit of comedy in it because maybe the first take of it and that there was too much violence and that, and it was like, oh no, we need to get this to 15. Let's add a bit of comedy elements into it because it is on for 2 hours. So maybe the original was only like an hour and a half, but it was like, oh, that's so violent. We need to lighten it up a bit. So maybe, yeah, there was a few scenes that was filmed later on just to like make it a bit more family friendly film. Well, it's definitely a family friendly action film. As I say, there's not real gratuitous swearing in it. I don't, I don't even know if there was any f bombs in it, but definitely not the c word in it, and that, and yeah, there's no sexual nudity around. But yeah, so a great film, it, and that, as I say, okay, I think 9 out of 10, and that it would be 10. Well, probably 10 out of 10 for me because it's one of them films where is it's got that cheesiness that like to some people it'd be an 8, but to me it's a 10. But yeah, I'll end the stream there and that. But yeah, cheers to Bone popping in and watching in that, man. Yeah, and that was all like it. Those that sex bot troll, but yeah, I'm blocking them because one of them where it's like I could I could let them on, but yeah, they probably start showing gay porn and that, like, so I always have to block them. But yeah, well, I should be doing another movie watch next Wednesday at sort of the same time. Gonna be um, an action comedy film, and that uh, yeah, more comedy than action. But it's like a spoof anyway. But yeah, I won't say which film and that. So I'll wait until like I'm doing the thumbnail and that. All right. Yeah, yeah. Cheers, Bone. Yeah, reported the troll. Yeah, yeah. I blocked them, but yeah. Cheers, man. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Uh, said don't really want to fucking do out like that to them, but when when they fucking deserve it. But yeah, 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 Bone. Later, man. Yeah. So yeah, so do one next week and that, and probably a stream on Tuesday, and hopefully I'll get a video out for them. But yeah, thanks for watching.